Hello from Nanook Lunch. It's a Carron on the Road episode, and today I'm going to recreate a dish that I fell in love with when I was in Dubai. I went to a restaurant called Bosphorus. It is a Turkish restaurant, and I ordered an appetizer, and it was this creamy plate of yogurt. They called it a yogurt and cheese spread that had olive oil and a little crushed red pepper drizzled over it, and it was served with roasted eggplant, and then served with this huge, bigger than a football piece of puffy bread that had just come out of the oven. And when she broke off a piece of it, all the steam came rolling out, and of course it then it flattened, but this lovely pita bread. But the creamy yogurt was so unbelievably delicious. And so I asked them, I went back a second time, and I asked them, I said, what is this? You know, the menu described it as cheese and yogurt. And so we kind of talked through it, and he said, do you know Labneh? And I said, yes. Labneh is a sort of a cheese. It's actually yogurt that is really just all the way has been drained off of it. And but it's hard to get here in the US, so I'm going to show you how to make Labneh. And then they mixed it with a little bit of creamy yogurt to kind of just bring out more creaminess in it. It was so delicious, so simple, but I'm going to recreate it for you today. Isn't a whole lot to this. To make the Labneh, we're going to take the yogurt, and I always use a full-fat yogurt for this because you want that really nice creaminess, especially when you strain out some of the whey. We're just going to mix it with a little bit of salt, and then we're going to put it in some cheesecloth and let it sit in the fridge overnight. So just so that whey will just naturally drip out, and it will create a little bit tighter texture. It'll turn out a little bit sort of like American cream cheese, which is fine because we're going to then mix it again with some creamy yogurt and kind of bring that all together into kind of a creamy spread. So we're concentrating the flavor of the yogurt, and then we're going to add a little bit more yogurt, essentially is what we're doing. We're going to use some olive oil. We're going to saute some eggplant or roast some eggplant in the oven. And then to finish it off, we're going to put the finished Labneh and yogurt mixture together. We're going to drizzle it with some of the really good olive oil and a little bit of crushed red pepper on the top, and serve it with our roasted eggplant and a little bit of pita on the side. So you want to cut the eggplant on what's called a bias. So instead of cutting it straight across like this, I'm going to cut off the end like that. And then I'm going to cut slices that are not quite a ½ inch thick. But they're going to all look like that. Then we'll roast them in the oven. Yogurt's been sitting. You can see it's got a little bit of whey. I actually dumped some out earlier too, so it wasn't sitting in there. The Feyye yogurt is pretty thick already, so it doesn't need to sit too long. Won't take 24 or 48 hours to get all of that out of there because you don't want it super thick. So you can see it's kind of got the consistency of cream cheese a little bit. We're going to take it out of here, and we're going to add just a little bit more of the yogurt in there and make it nice and creamy. And then we'll take our roasted eggplant and plate it up. So there it is, out of the cheesecloth. It's pretty solid. Not hard, I can put my finger in there, but it's the way it's gone out of it. This is Labneh. Now, if you can find Labneh in your grocery store or your Middle Eastern store where you are, start there. You don't have to go through all of this. But what I wanted was that concentrated flavor. So now I'm going to take some of the creamy yogurt and mix it back in here and make it really nice and creamy, so it'll be all ready to serve with the eggplant. I put a good, probably 3/4 of a cup of yogurt into the Labneh. I'm gonna add just a little bit more, make it nice and creamy. Here we have it, my rendition of the appetizer that I had in Bosporus restaurant in Dubai. Not exactly the same because I don't have their ingredients, but really delicious too. I don't have the wood oven to be able to recreate that big puffy football bread, so I've just got some store-bought pita here that'll go great with this. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking at Nanak Lodge in this episode of Carron on the Road. I love sharing food from my adventures around the world.